Good evening. Thank you for joining us for our Ask Me Anything from Meridian Technology Center tonight. My name is Scott Schaefer, and I'm going to be kind of our host for the evening. And we are going to have we're joined tonight by three different programs. It's our product development and machining, our precision metal fabrication, and our welding programs this evening. And so here in just a little while, I'm going to allow our instructors to introduce themselves, to just tell a little bit about their program, just to kind of give everybody a better idea of what we have to offer and what our students might be experiencing in each one of those programs. Now, this evening, we're going to just hit on about 30 minutes of your time here. And so we want to be very respectful of your time, but we also want to answer any questions that you might have. And so if you have a question this evening, we just ask that you would drop that question into the Q&A box. So down at the bottom, there's a tab that says question and answer or Q&A. If you'll click on that box and then put your question there, we'll make sure that we get that answered by our instructors this evening. Also, I want to invite you guys to check out meridiantech.edu/visit. And on that page, you're going to find a 360 tour of all of our programs. And so what you'll see is our welding program, our precision metal fab, and our product development programs. We've gone in with a 360 camera and gone all around that those individual programs, and so that you guys can see what it's all about and kind of get an experience of what our programs look like and what the classrooms and the lab areas look like, so that you can gain that experience. Again, check out meridiantech.edu/visit, and you'll be able to see those 360 tours. Also, don't forget about the Q&As. We want to make sure that you get your questions answered this evening. Now, I'm going to allow our instructors to just introduce themselves and kind of tell just a little bit about their program. I'm going to start with Mr. Nesbitt. He is our precision metal fabrication instructor. And so, Mr. Nesbitt, if you'll just tell us just a little bit about yourself and your program.
All right, good evening. Thanks for joining us on Ask Me Anything here. So my name is Justin Nesbitt. I'm the Precision Metal Fabrication Program instructor. This is my 9th year here at Meridian, teaching that program. And what metal fabrication is, I guess the best way to explain it would be it's kind of an extension of the welding program. In the welding industry, there's a lot of welding jobs out there, but in addition to that, there's what they call welder fitters or pipe fitters or iron workers, all these different jobs that actually do the cutting, shaping, bending, and actually putting the products together. So in my program, we learn how to weld first and foremost, but we don't dive into it as extensively as the welding program might. But we focused a lot of our time on learning how to read blueprints, how becoming familiar with all the different materials used in the fabrication process, and how to manipulate those materials into the things that we want to build. So
Okay.
that's what PMF does. We real quick, we have a lot of large equipment. If you wanted to look up like what a CNC plasma burn table or a press brake or a submerged arc welder, some of those things are, kind of give you a little bit more information about what we do.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Nesbitt. We'll just kind of transition with kind of what you said into our welding program. And Mr. Steele, I'm going to allow you just to tell us a little bit about yourself and our welding program that we have at Meridian.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Yes, my name is Joe Steele, and this is my 12th or 13th year here teaching the welding program at Meridian. So just to kind of go off of what Mr. Nesbitt talked about, the two programs are similar in nature, but and they're side by side in proximity. And the students do it's a similar program, but we're more into the kind of the entry level welding skills. It's a the level 1 program is a 600-hour course, and you'll learn the basics of MIG, stick, and flux core welding and oxy fuel cutting. So that's just kind of the general broad approach at the manufacturing industry, the welding portion of it. So we do some projects, but most of the fabrication stuff happens in the other program. So we've got the specific welding booths and machines. So the bulk of their time in this program is just learning the basics of the main processes of welding.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mr. Steele. And then right next door to our welding program is our product development and machining area. And I'm going to allow Mr. Williams to just tell us a little bit about your program.
Well, thank you, Mr. Schaefer. My name is Jimmy Williams, and I graduated from this program. Also, I spent 2 years out here a long time ago. Never thought I was going to be a machinist. This is pretty much all I've ever done, I think. So basically, our program starts out conventional side. There's two sides. There's a manual and CNC machining. If you ever heard the word CAD CAM, we're the CAM part of that equation, we're the manufacturing part of it. We start out in the manual side, do about 5 projects on the mill, do about 5 projects on a lathe, cover a lot of safety, try to get a young person an OSHA 10 card, try to get them prepared not only just to work, not be a machinist, but work in the manufacturing, get some kind of entry-level job. Carries over to the CNC side where you learn the G-code program, read blueprints, you get to use some SolidWorks, you get to use Mastercam to drive the machines. Tons of hands-on stuff. We got a lot of high-tech stuff over there. We got some of our machines upwards of 200,000. I mean, they're very fun. It's very gratifying to write programs and see it in action. See it work. So if you like to work, use your hands, can use your mind. I mean, this is a good little program to take. It's I think it's 970 total hours.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. Like I said, again, if you have a question, you're with us this evening, you want to ask that question to our instructors, we invite you to drop that into the Q&A section, that little tab at the bottom, and we'll get that question answered to you or for you this evening. We did have a question come in from Dakota, and I'm going to kind of add to a little bit of what Dakota asked. He said, in your programs, what types of careers do students typically get into after they graduate? So after they're done, they've completed their 2 years and they graduate from Meridian. What are the types of careers that they go into? Mr. Williams, will you start us off on that one?
When you graduate from my program, you should be able to an entry-level position, I would say 15, 16 bucks an hour. Once you get going and get kind of settled in, if you stay true to this trade, I mean, in 5 years, you can be making a decent living. When you get inside of it, there's probably 100 other different areas that once you decide, if I want to be a machinist, there's stuff that you'll enjoy doing, like programming or measuring, there's jobs just for that. There's jobs just for running a saw. There's programming positions. Some of my guys turn into full-fledged engineers. It's kind of a starting place once you get going into any kind of manufacturing.
Okay, Mr. Steele, can you tell us kind of for your students, whenever they graduate from your program, what are some of the career areas that they go into?
Most of our students will go into the entry-level manufacturing jobs. There's manufacturing involves welding in so many ways. There's several different directions they can go. The petroleum industry often employs a lot of people in this trade, and that's a little more cyclical maybe than like a manufacturing environment in a shop. So we send a lot of kids to shop jobs at different large manufacturing facilities, and talk about wages like Mr. Williams was going there. $15 to $20 an hour is pretty well starting wages in this trade, and then like anything else, work their way up from there. So some of our students they go all different directions when they leave here. Some will carry it on into different businesses, or they might start their own welding business sometimes, or go to work in a variety of different shops. So welding is one of those trades that there's always a huge demand. It's pretty physical job, and it's pretty demanding. So if you're willing to work hard and don't mind getting dirty, and there will always, so far anyway, there's always been a job somewhere. For unlike a lot of the other professions, there's going to be a huge demand.
Sure. Okay. Mr. Nesbitt, same question to you. What are some of the career options and some of the jobs that your graduates get whenever they're complete at they've completed all of their coursework at Meridian?
Oh, I would kind of echo what these guys said. Any kind of manufacturing, these three programs that are represented here tonight, if something is made out of metal, and kind of the only exception to that is Jimmy's, they use a lot of different materials, but if something's made out of metal, that's what we capture. And so if there's places making stuff out of metal, then the skills that you learn in these programs are going to be applicable there. I'll tell you just a little bit about my background and kind of, career and technical education on the whole. A lot of people think this is maybe an alternative to, higher education. And so I went to Canadian Valley Technology Center, and then I really had no intentions of pursuing a higher education at that point. And I got into the welding trade, and it treated me well, but then I realized to reach some of my goals that I needed to do that. And so that kind of bought me that time and gave me a direction to go, and also allowed me to pay for most of that out of pocket instead of getting in debt. But once you have that fundamental knowledge and some experience in the field, it's the directions you could go are endless. Jimmy talked about some of that with the engineering. You could get into education or sales or just a million different things. So it doesn't necessarily mean you take one of these programs and you go out and do that in the workforce. That might be where you start, but then that opens a lot of doors for you as well.
Sure. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for that. Just kind of to let all of our students know kind of what some of the hands-on projects are that you get to do in your program. Just kind of give us an idea of maybe what a day in your program might look like, or what are some of the really cool hands-on projects that you get to do in that program. Mr. Steele, I'll let you start on that one.
Yeah, normal day, we're in the shop as much as we can be in the shop. It's a hands-on program. They need to be in there actually welding to learn the trade, but there is a certain amount of fundamentals that go along with that. So I would say our program is about 30% fundamentals, 70% hands-on. And we used to, all that time was spent here, either in the classroom or in the shop. But so some recent changes with everything going on, we've converted a lot more of our curriculum to an online format. So now some new opportunities from that are coming along where they can probably get some more shop time and do some of the fundamental stuff from a remote location sometimes, or on their own time if they want to. So it's in the shop as much as we can, hands-on, learn the skills, learn the processes. Then we do build a few things. We do sometimes what's called live work, where we work on different projects for kind of a mock customer sometimes. So just little things, nothing really specific, but we'll do some farm equipment type stuff, or some fencing things, gates. We've done feed bunks and trailers and just several different things, but pretty much anything that kind of fits the curriculum at the time. If we've got a student that can gain from a certain project and the timing fits, and we'll try to squeeze it in.
Okay. Mr. Nesbitt, same question. What are some hands-on projects that your students do? What's kind of like just a day in your program like?
With a typical year, we generally start off in the classroom and cover, some key points. Like Joe said, that looks a little different right now, and may look a little bit different in the future with some of the new things that we've got going on. But we try to spend the majority of time in the shop. We know that our students coming here generally, want to work with their hands. They didn't necessarily come to Meridian to sit in the classroom all day, or come not to Meridian on the whole, but to a program like ours, they want to be out there working. I think we can all relate to that. So, once we work in the shop for a while and kind of get some good fundamental skills down, we do a lot of live work, like Mr. Steele was saying, some of the projects that we've been able to take on and build here as a school are pretty neat. We've built most recently, if you were around Pro Value Net last March, I guess it was, we built a big bicycle that was up on their roof for I think it's the Land Run, or I can't remember the bicycle race, but so, just we take on all kinds of things if it fits our curriculum good. And we feel like our students are capable of it. It allows us to utilize our equipment for something tangible. It gives our students that customer interaction, which is really important. Also, we get into, the what's it going to cost, how long is it going to take me to do it, those kind of things. And so all that's really important as you advance in your career.
Sure. Okay. Mr. Williams, same question to you. What's a day like in your program? What are some of the hands-on projects that you all get to do?
Most of the stuff that we do, I would say my class is more project based, not big projects, but small projects. If you get a blueprint, say you're working on a lathe, that blueprint, the product itself probably doesn't do anything, but the blueprint will actually teach you. You'll learn about 5 or 6 processes from each, and you basically what the lathe does. Like you'll learn to drill on it, to face, to turn to a shoulder, cut threads. The mill's the same thing. Works on flat stuff. Different cutters, different. You learn some metallurgy. And we try to do some live work. Pick and choose if I think it's educational for the students. That they can gain something from it. We go over to the CNC side. It's really neat what we can do with our CAM packages over there. The student really takes a hold of it. I know last year we got to work on a part for NASA, which is really cool. There was some real live stuff into that. As far as quality control. The type material, because we were turning stainless. If you know anything about material, boy, stainless is tough. It's very expensive. And it was quite a process for my students to learn. We wasn't quite ready for it, but we moved them on to actually use a Mastercam, and we do have the 4th axis in our machine, so I was able to use that capability in our machine, and it's really neat.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and obviously all your guys's your programs are very hands-on, and that's a great opportunity for our students to learn. Another opportunity is, and it's kind of outside of the classroom, is our career tech student organizations. And so our students have an opportunity to kind of gain some different things, some leadership activities. They get to gain some knowledge in different things. They also get to show off what they've learned in class through these student organizations, or what we call CTSOs. Mr. Nesbitt, could you kind of just tell us a little bit about the Career Tech student organization that your program is involved in, and maybe some of the activities that your students participate in?
Sure. So my program, just like these other guys, we are involved in Skills USA. Skills USA is a student organization. Champions at Work is their motto, but it's a student organization that really focuses on technical skills and leadership skills. So we have 3 contests, hands-on contests that we participate in. We have a welding competition, a fabrication competition, and then a sculpture contest. And then there's a whole host of leadership contests as well that students have the opportunity to participate in. Those contests they start off at a local level. So what that would look like if we had, 6 really talented students, there's some constraints on how many that we can participate at a district and state and national level with. And so we'll have a contest amongst those, find who's the best qualified or having the best day that day, I guess. And then we'll move on from there to a local or district or a regional or district contest where we'll compete with other schools kind of, in our area. Joe and I we compete against each other, which is pretty fun competition too. But Oklahoma City, Tulsa, some of the surrounding communities will compete with them. whoever wins on from that has the opportunity to go on to a state contest where I think with most of our contests, there's 7 different regions. So basically they'll take the top students from each region and they'll compete. And then from there, they take the first place winners and go on to nationals where they take the first place winners from each state. So the product that they produce, especially at the state national level, is just incredible. Excuse me. From there, just as a resume builder, people that know what Skills USA is, I think that really makes you a favorable applicant if you have that on your resume. People are familiar with it. The prizes are incredible. And just the experience is amazing as well. So
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys might elaborate a little bit on that.
Oh yeah, I'm all in on the student organizations. It is a great opportunity. Mr. Williams, do you have anything to add maybe on what contest areas or what activities your students are involved in through Skills?
We have a conventional machining contest that does have a district, and before you get a chance at state, other contests are CNC contests or straight. They go straight to state on those. We're very competitive. You know, I mean, everybody that's in my trade group is very competitive. We want to send the best applicant that we can, you know, I mean, to represent the state of Oklahoma. You know, in the actual CNC contest, you have to write a program by hand to drive a machine. You know, and so it's not easy. You know, and most of the people that do have an opportunity to do this, it's a great, just like Justin said, as far as building your resume. You know, it shows some leadership. You know, and you know, you're a person that wants to compete, you know, and stand above everybody else. I think it's a great way to do that.
Sure, absolutely. Mr. Steele, do you have anything to add to what they're talking about with the student organizations?
Not a lot more other than just reiterate the fact that it's such a good program for the students. I mean, it's an experience that they'll never have anything like it anywhere else at this time in their life, and getting to travel to different contests and compete, you know, it's fun. Some of the students that we've taken to contests have not been out much, so getting out to travel to, you know, a state contest or even a national contest is a really big deal. It's a lot of fun for them. We've been to Louisville and Kansas City for a couple national contests, and the contest that, you know, Justin, Mr. Nesbitt mentioned that we compete against each other because these programs are so similar, but we get the chance to compete in a welding contest or a fabrication contest, and that contest is a lot of fun because the fabrication is a team of 3 members, and so they not only get scored on their technical skills or their weld quality and fabrication quality, but they also get scored on safety aspects and teamwork aspects. You know, the way they work well together, and it's just a really fun contest, and students really enjoy it. And like they said, resumes and just a lot to add to their total experience here than just learning the trade.
Sure, absolutely. All right, well, guys, last question here for you all. I think it's a pretty simple one, but we'll see how you guys how you answer this one. What do you love about Meridian Technology Center? Like, what is the thing that you just truly enjoy? Mr. Williams, I'll let you start with that one.
Well, I mean, I'm a product of this place, being a graduate from here, you know, and going to work, getting to come back, you know, and to give back to, I mean, some of the students, you know, I mean, helping people, I mean, progressing their lives, you know, whether it be through education or work or even a hobby. You know, this place has been wonderful to me. I can't say enough about it, you know, and for a young person, it doesn't, if not, whether it's in my program or if they could just come out here and see what we have to offer, I think it can change your life.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Steele, what do you love about Meridian Technology Center?
I like the atmosphere out here, and I like seeing these kids grow up. You know, we get most of them around their junior and senior year, you know, that time frame in life. We get some young adults too sometimes, but it's a real pivotal time in their life, and to see them change and grow and develop and learn a skill or a trade that's going to, you know, that they're going to have with them the rest of their life to to be able to change their course of life, and then, you know, maybe even future generations to come, the way they can, you know, go down a different path. And so the other cool part is they're here in a program with students from all around our district. You know, I think we've got 11 different sending schools. So that first day of school, they may not know a single person in their class, but that goes away pretty fast because they've all got common interests and they're here for the same reason. So, you know, it's a lot different than going to high school, because you're in a group of people that all want to be here for the same reasons. And so watching them develop those friendships and bonds, and I mean, I think the students make some of their best friends during their time here at Tech, and then just watching them succeed. And then the big ones when they come back a few years later, you know, after they've been out a little bit and come back, and I really enjoy the connections and the relationships that we get to build with the students. For, you know, they're students for a while and then they become friends, and when you've done it as long as some of us have, they, you know, that's some of your lifelong friends come out of your programs.
That's awesome. Mr. Nesbitt, I'll let you kind of close us off with this one. What do you love about Meridian Technology Center?
Well, a lot like Jimmy said, and I said earlier, I didn't go to school at Meridian, but I went to a school much like Meridian. And you know, it really changed the course of my life. It gave me some direction, really helped me pursue a career that I ended up really enjoying. So just great opportunities there that are maybe outside of the box compared to what we generally consider. In addition to that, we're a top-notch facility. I don't think you'll find better, equipment, more knowledgeable instructors anywhere else that you go. 9 years of working here, I've developed relationships with all our staff here just across the board, and we share a common interest of student success. And that sounds a little bit cliche, but we're going to do what it takes to help students succeed. And so student success and, the way that comes back and the impact that it makes on lives is truly what I like the most about it. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you all very much for your time this evening. To all of our students and parents that have been watching, thank you all as well. If you have additional questions that you would like to ask to our instructors, we invite you to go back to that meridiantech.edu/visit page and click on the Ask Me Anything tab. And you can submit a question there, and then we will get that question to our instructors and have them answer that for you. We want to make sure that we answer all the questions that you might have about any of our programs. In addition to that, we want to invite you to our open house. Now, it's going to be a virtual open house this year for all of our future students and parents. It is going to be on January the 26th. And so again, you will find information on that visit page. So meridiantech.edu/visit. But we want to invite you there. Again, it's going to be a time for our instructors to just talk to our students. If there's questions, they can answer those questions, and just get you more aware of what we have to offer with our programs. Now, over the last couple of weeks, you should have received in the mail a guide to tech and then a yellow application for enrollment at Meridian Technology Center. Now, if you decide to fill out that application, and we hope that you do, then we encourage you to get that application filled out and turned into your school counselor by February the 1st. Now, if you're a homeschool or a virtual student, you can turn that into the Career Planning Center here at Meridian Technology Center by February 1st. That is our priority enrollment day or application date. If you don't get it turned in by then, that's okay. We will still accept that application, but we give priority to those that have turned in their applications prior to February the 1st. After that, kind of the next step is going to be where one of the members of the Career Planning Center and the Meridian staff will come to your campus, and we will sit down with a one-on-one interview with you. Be really simple, about 5 minutes, just kind of making sure that the application that you filled out and the choices that you've made to pursue your education at Meridian kind of match what the programs are and what we have to offer. We want to make sure that we get you in the right program. So that's going to happen about the middle of February. And then usually by around the end of March, we'll have our our decisions made on acceptance letters, and we'll get those sent out to everybody so that you will know if you've been accepted to Meridian Technology Center. Again, we want to thank you all for your time. Hopefully you gained something from this and some knowledge about our programs. We hope that you also have an outstanding evening. See you guys later.